Hello, Stu.
Glenn, how are you?
Oh, my gosh. I'm so sad this morning.
Oh, no.
I'm so sad. I read a story in USA Today about a young woman full of promise, wide-eyed, probably, has an Instagram bio that says future doctor, dream chaser, coffee addict, and how she's being deported today along with her family. And she's heartbroken. She's heartbroken. And why is she heartbroken? Well, because America's cruel, quite honestly. We've lost our compassion, America. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a lot of compassion, because her dad firebombed a Jewish family, an old Jewish woman and other people, and the skin was falling off of their legs, taken to the hospital. I don't have a lot of compassion there. I don't. And I'm not one to say, hey, everybody has to pay for the sins of the father. But, when you're here illegally, and Islamicism seems to be kind of like a family trait, They get a whole family involved. Mom likes to, strap explosives onto their children. Dad is already on tape going, Islam is more important than even my children. I wish they'd blow themselves up or something like that. I don't have a lot of sympathy for it. I want them out, Maybe that's just me, Okay, so you set a few Jewish people on fire. Minor detail. I mean, who hasn't, committed an act of terrorism before breakfast, So let me just recap this little hallmark moment that you might have missed. In Colorado, a man whose visa had expired, not once, but twice, and not here on a work visa, on a tourist visa. He's here as a tourist. 2022, they come in as a whole family. We just want to tour America, and then they stay. And then he starts, filling bottles up with gasoline and stuffing rags in it. Okay. When he overstays his visa, then he decides, to do what all grateful immigrants would do when given a second, third, and fourth chance here in America, throw Molotov cocktails at Jewish people, because nothing says, hey, thanks for your hospitality, like arson, A Holocaust survivor, she outlived Auschwitz. Yeah, but she couldn't really outlive that little march there in Colorado. And now ICE has made this monstrous decision. You ready? ICE, these monsters, are thinking about sending the whole family back to Egypt. Well, not the whole family. I think we should keep Dad here for a while, maybe the rest of his life. Now, can you hear it? The tiny little violins? Yes, they're playing. They're not even American violins. They're Egyptian violins, slightly out of tune. But the daughter says, I'm devastated because I was planning on attending a medical school here. I just want to be a doctor. Oh, that is heartbreaking. But you know what? America's loss is Egypt's gain. So, and if your hospital is ever low on burn cream, she's going to know where to find it. I'm sure she can spot, wow, that's third-degree burns. How do you know, doctor? Well, Dad was setting Jews on fire, so I'm pretty up to speed on that. Now, just to clarify something for those who are trying to square this circle, this isn't some random deportation. This isn't the ICE agents breaking into a third-grade classroom and dragging away honor students. This is a man who set people on fire, who brought his family here as tourists, and they overstayed. And then, while they were here as tourists, they decided to break the law even further and like, you know what? I'm going to apply for medical school. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think you get the second hole punch, on your green card after you go full Hamas on the streets anywhere in America, Now, I saw some people on X, formerly known as the Ministry of Empathy, saying, we don't make a daughter pay for the father's sins. Really? Really? Because, I don't know. What is it about white people? Let's see. I didn't own slaves. In fact, my great-great-grandparents fought for the freedom of slaves in America. And yet, I'm still smeared with the sin of slavery, and nothing will ever wash me clean of that sin. So please don't preach to me about we don't make the daughter pay for the father's sins. You're not even talking about my father. You're talking about my great-great-great-grandfather, who I don't even know. And he didn't have any slaves. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so let me just play this out. Okay, play this out with me. So dad throws flaming bottles into a crowd, and the system says, yeah, I know you're here illegally, but you got to stay. No, I don't think that's justice. I think that's more franchise opportunity for terrorism. So imagine your dad walks into a hospital and stabs the nurses. And your complaint is, but I was going to intern there this summer. No, hospital didn't want me to intern there. It was because, oh, gosh, Doogie Firestarter, MD, I feel bad for you. I do. Oh, I am really not one for making the children pay for the father or the mother's problems. I'm not. But I'm sorry, you were here as a guest. You were here as a tourist. You knew you were here as a tourist. Why are you applying for college? You're a tourist. You can't go to college here. I mean, I have sympathy. I am a dad, I know this woman didn't throw the bomb, But if we're letting people stay based on potential alone, I got a long line of liberty-loving Amish kids that might want to get into that doctor line. You know what I mean? Like to skip some of the paperwork. And here's the thing. The minute your dad made the conscious choice to, recreate Kristallnacht in Colorado, I think he avoided the family's warranty. I think we're like, you know what? That's not covered. That's the moment the dream dies for you and your family. Not because of our cruelty, but because of his cruelty. I know that's a concept for people on the left. They're like, wait a minute, what? We're going to make all the white people pay for the sins they didn't do, but not this person whose dad, where they're still living together, just set people on fire and they're here illegally. We can't make that happen. And now we're expected to feel guilt because the aspiring doctor has to go to med school in Egypt. Oh. In Egypt? Isn't that where, let's be honest, the most common first aid advice is don't say anything the government might hear. Look, America is many, many things, but it is not a country that hands out permanent residency to arsonists and their plus ones. Oh, arsonists? Yes, I've got the plus one. No. You want opportunity? You want safety? Don't set people on fire. You want your kids to, have a brighter future? Don't come here illegally. Don't come here illegally as a tourist, then overstay your visa 2 times, and then set people on fire. I don't know. It's not that complicated. It seems like a pretty easy rule. I've never had a problem keeping that rule, Don't set people on fire. Never had a problem with that one, And I'm sure it's hard to leave. Sure. But you want to be able to have your case heard by a federal judge because you're now claiming that you need asylum. Wait. Asylum from Egypt, and you're Egyptian, and you're Muslim. Pretty staunch Muslim, I'm guessing. More of a Islamist than just a Muslim. I'm pretty sure Islamists are really quite popular, in the home of the Muslim Brotherhood. I'm just saying. What are you running from? Other Islamists? Oh, I know. Gosh, in Egypt, they just love Jews so much that when you get back to Egypt, they're going to be, your father set Jews on fire. And what? They won't throw you a parade? What exactly are you running from? Bull crap. Bull crap. You're not running from anything. Well, except for the truth. And probably, well, no, that woman that your dad set on fire, she was elderly, so she's probably not able to chase you. I don't even know if she could chase you or stop, drop, and roll. She was pretty old. But thanks for bringing that to the streets of America. This is not cruelty. This is common sense, period. You know, if we don't draw a line after somebody lights a literal match, what exactly are we protecting here? So, to the daughter, goodbye, good luck. Don't let the door hit you on the big, fat Egyptian ass on the way out. I'm sorry. And you know what? Next time you visit a country for a little vacation, you might want to make sure nobody in the family's packing some firebombs. You know? That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one. Come on, America. You're smarter than this. Don't fall it. I know you're not. I just can't take how many stupid people are around. I can't take it anymore. Can't do it. All right. More in just a second. First, let me tell you about our sponsor this half hour, and that's Leaf Filter. Unless you already had Leaf Filter for your home, chances are pretty good that your gutters, like most gutters, are leading the lives of quiet desperation, choked with leaves and sticks and dirt. Nobody cares about me, the gutter, just waiting for the inevitable overflow. Most people don't think about their gutters, not really. They don't see the damage that's coming because it doesn't arrive with a crash. It starts slowly, bit of water, bit of rot, bit of foundation cracking where nobody else is looking. And then you find it, like I did this summer. It was great. I loved seeing it. Yes, I did. Now, that's the nature of it. The worst damage doesn't always announce itself. It creeps in. And by the time you notice, it's done. Leaf Filter is one of those simple fixes that protects you from the things you don't see coming. They install a stainless steel mesh over your existing gutters, meaning no more clogs, no more cleaning, no more surprise repairs that arrive disguised as a tiny drip that just won't stop. It's a small step that saves you from big problems. Schedule your free inspection now. Get up to 30% off your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/glennbeck. That's leaffilter.com/glennbeck. LEAF filter.com/glennbeck. See representative for warranty details. It's leaffilter.com/glennbeck. 10 seconds, station ID.
You know, Glenn, I've heard a lot of people make the argument that these people are being deported because of this, you can't hold the children responsible for the crimes of their father. And I know that's something that you've talked about over the years as being one of the, one of the foundational things in America, right? Like it is one of the things that we changed that the world was not doing when the country was founded.
Correct.
And I think that's accurate. However, these people are getting deported not because their dad tried to burn a bunch of Jews in a park. They're getting deported because they overstayed their visas. That is why they're getting deported. They may be getting prioritized.
No, but Dad only did that. They didn't know, Stu. She didn't know. She thought Dad had all of that taken care of, I'm sure.
That is immaterial to the law. That's not how this works at all. When you come here, you are required to follow the laws. The law they did not follow was the visa law. They overstayed the visa. They did not get the asylum they requested, nor should they have received it. I think quite clearly people who want to burn Jews to death are not being persecuted in Egypt. So all of this being said, that is the reason that they are going to be deported. The question is the timeline on that deportation.
Everywhere. Like if I went to Egypt and I was trying to convert people from Islam to Christianity and I didn't know that it was against the law and they chopped my head off, I mean, they would be like, wait, he wasn't aware of the laws, right?
No. It's not the way it works. You have to actually. That's not the way it works anywhere. Here as well. Ignorance is not really a defense in these situations. I'm frustrated by this because I keep hearing this like as if we're saying they're also guilty. Like the child is not guilty of murder. Attempted murder.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And I didn't even get that far. You're here illegally. Your dad set some people on fire. If you were as oh my gosh, I'm outraged and I'm going to dedicate my life helping Jews. Maybe I'd have some sympathy for. I'm still going to send you away, but I at least have some sympathy. You're crying tears because you can't go to medical school in the country where your father just set people on fire in the streets for being Jewish. I don't think I like your bedside manner, Dr. Firestarter. I don't.
Dr. Firestarter. There are determinations made within the law all the time as to which people will be prioritized. The question is, did they commit a crime? And they did. They're here and they're not supposed to be. Bye-bye. That is the basic function of what we're talking about here. If they were U.S. citizens, by the way, U.S. citizens have done crazy crap like this as well. And when they do it, we can't just deport them, right? We can't because they didn't. No. We have to go through the normal process of the way things work. That is, we don't get to do that because it's not on the table. It is on the table when you've already broken the law with your immigration status. That's how this works.
What is Egypt going to do with all the ticker tape if we don't send them back? Because they're going to have a parade for this family in Egypt. What could we possibly do? We're going to be responsible for them not having a use for all that ticker tape they've been cutting up, for the parade when they come home. I don't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah,
Egypt might be mad at
that.
us.
Would be tragic.
Oh man, this is horrible, horrible, horrible. I think we have enough mental illness in our country. I don't think we need to import any more mental illness,
Yeah, but what about white supremacy? That's the real, those Christians, that's the real problem.
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it? It does really seem like it. So, hey, Swalwell has come up and said it's time to assemble a group of Democrat Avengers. Okay, I've got a couple of suggestions for some Avenger characters. We'll do that next.
This is Glenn Beck.
I've had a lot of dogs over the years. Loved every single one of them. They're not pets, they're family. I know you feel the same way about your dog. When it comes to their food, most of us just settle. We're not even thinking. Kibble food has been cooked to death. It's stripped of all of its nutrients. It's preserved to survive on the store shelf because the government says it has to be on the store shelf without any kind of decay for 2 years. That's like feeding your child McDonald's every single day for every meal for their whole life. I don't know. Their hair isn't quite so shiny. I'm surprised they have hair at this point. Rough Greens is not a new dog food. It's a supplement you pour on top of the dog food. It's full of the stuff kibble left out. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, antioxidants, real nutrition. You'll see it in their coat, their eyes, their energy, the way they move. Get a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. Just cover the shipping. Go to Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com. Use the promo code Beck, ruffgreens.com, promo code Beck. Don't change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens.
Head over to glennbeck.com and get the free email newsletter. It's every story we talk about every day.
Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. We're glad that you're here. Well, I don't know if you've heard, Stu, but you better look out because the The Democrats are now assembling their group of Avengers. Here's Eric Swalwell. Listen to this.
The future of the Democratic Party is going to be, it's going to take some of those people now, that's the future, to throw the old regime under the bus.
Well, and it's going to take like this Avengers-like model of Jasmine Crockett, Maxwell Frost, Robert Garcia, people that you'd not seen before, just step up. The leader is today, but the publicly perceived leader is Hakeem Jeffries, right? Because he's got to make the case that we're winning the House.
He's terrible.
But he's the leader of the party. And he's got, in the fall,
by position only.
Yeah. But he's
the reason I don't trust guys like Hakeem is because he's so willing to still bend a knee to the old regime. He's not going to ever speak out against Chuck Schumer. He's never going to do that.
But I can.
But you're not the leader.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you're zero. You're a giant zilch. No one cares about you.
We only had you on the show because we couldn't get anyone else. I gotta tell you, I love this idea of the Avengers, the super team of Democrats. I think that's fantastic, especially when they name all of which one would play Captain Chaos or Comrade Chaos. Which one would that be? We can redistribute everyone's superpowers equally, rendering all heroes equally mediocre. I wield the hammer and the sickle, and a hammer and a sickle themed boomerang that always misses its target. It's great. It's great. It's great. Who would play that, I wonder? Gosh, their outfits though would be great, wouldn't they? They have to have, I don't know, Gender Bender Goliath, who is part of the superpower team, and I could change anybody's outfit into a fabulous but impractical costume. At any given time, I can do it. I just look down the street. I'm like, I'm going to change your outfit right now. You shoot rainbow lasers that make people argue out pronouns for hours and hours and hours on end. It's fantastic. I'm going to demand that all bathrooms are replaced with gender-neutral ball pits. Fight for a world where every day is a mandatory costume parade. Isn't that be great? That's me. Of course, my weakness is I can't resist stopping to fix my hair in any reflective surface, and that's kind of bad, but more parades. Oh my God. That'd be good. That would be really, really, really good. Somebody's got to get on VO and on Google and make a short movie of the Democrat superheroes. I just think that would be good. It would be good. The one, their weaknesses might be, I get distracted by long manifestos, and all of them are long, and sometimes I fall asleep, in my own speeches. But then comes Terror Titan. I summon the cloud of glittery smoke that causes confusion and mild irritation, and I can monologue for hours about disrupting the system without making any point, and then stand up for all the terrorists that are here in the country, because I'm a superhero. I champion chaos, replacing all the traffic lights with disco balls. And our national anthem's gonna only be played by a kazoo in every single sporting event where only transgender people can compete. Because those are the real men or women, or you know what I'm saying. My gosh. Oh, I love it. I love it. They are so unbelievably clueless. By the way, Stu, I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to come clean. I am leaving the Democratic Party, and I'm going to write a book about it. So.
Oh, wow. Really? Officially?
Yeah.
You're out?
Yeah. Officially, I'm out of the Democratic Party, and I'm going to write a book. Because they lied to me this whole time. I didn't know. I didn't see it. They were lying this whole time, and my gosh, how did I not see it? I mean, they just made me look like a joke.
I love that story. I can't get enough of it. And now, today, all of the former Biden aides who said nothing about her this entire time are all out, like knives out, coming after her, which I just can't love enough. I just, every single thing we said for 4 years is now being backed up by Democratic sources. We should cherish this moment a little bit. It is fun.
What is she leaving for? Did she say? I couldn't find that anywhere.
It's weird. The only thing that is indicated in what's been released so far is this is Corinne Jean-Pierre we're talking about, by the way. I don't know if we've set that up, but Corinne Jean-Pierre.
And me.
And Glenn. And Glenn is officially out.
I'm leaving the Democratic.
Also,
I'm out, and I'm going to write a book.
Like Corinne Jean-Pierre, you only like women, so you're also lesbians. You've come out in two different ways today.
Always been a lesbian.
The only thing that they mentioned in the report seemed to be that she was angry at the Democrats for abandoning and betraying Joe Biden, which is fascinating in a million different ways.
She's actually standing by Joe Biden. She's like, she finds out, quote, air quotes here, she finds out now that the whole thing was a sham. And she's like, oh, you should still stand by him. I mean, not too close because he smells like he just pooped his pants, but...
Yeah, I think so. Again, we are, and I say this, we are literally judging a book by its cover at this point, so we don't know what the book actually says, but it does seem to indicate
and
that.
You know, strangely, after it comes out, still no one will know what it's...
I don't know. This is what I might read. I want to hear every horrible word that comes out of her Chat GPT mouth in this particular book.
I was just going to say, all you have to do is go on to Chat GPT and say, what would a book read like if Corinne Jean-Pierre wrote a book? And it will write it. And it will probably be word for word because she's not writing that book.
No,
she's not writing that.
I can't imagine. What would a book read like from someone who can't read or write? I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to figure that out.
Oh, my gosh. Are you saying that because she's a lesbian or because she was super nice dressed or because she's black? Or why? Why are you saying that?
She's an idiot, Glenn. That's why. She's an idiot. That's why I'm saying
okay. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. She was a complete, total idiot.
Yes.
But
I don't know if you saw this reporting, but it's fascinating to watch it because they are everything we said about her. She's incompetent. She makes more problems than she solves. How many times did we say, how does she have this job? This is insanity. Mm-hmm. And it's all in the reporting today. They all can admit it now because she's no longer a Democrat. It didn't matter that she was ruining the country and the communication between the White House and the American people. That was not a concern for them at all. They're concerned now because she's no longer saying she's a Democrat. One of the quotes in the article is, she has lost her only constituency, party line Democrats. Which is such a good point and such a good line. But it's true. The only possible defense for her this entire time was you were defending every Democrat no matter what they did. It's the only defense because she was terrible at every single aspect of her job. And now the one thing she had, which was the D after her name, is gone. And now people can finally tell the truth, apparently.
Speaking of D's after your name, and I mean D for dunce, the women of The View are really, they're just not the sharpest. First of all, Sonny Hostin's view on Elon Musk. I mean, can we play this, please?
So really, he saved our country less than 1%, nothing. But the damage that he did was just really incredible. Yeah. He slashed 250,000 federal employees, more than 8,500 contracts, more than 10,000 grants, and his cutbacks on medical research cost the lives of the foreign aid, cost 300,000 lives, mostly children. That's the damage that Elon Musk did. So
show me that stat. Show me that stat. Show that to me. Cost the lives of 300,000, mostly children. Show that stat to me. I want the names. I want to know the exact numbers, how they died. She's like, I don't think anybody should be listening because he kills children. No, that's not Elon Musk. Elon Musk is making children. Lots and lots and lots. He may replace all 300,000 children that you say died by when? Wednesday of next week.
He's kind of constantly at it,
making
seems.
children.
Yeah, like
Always.
It is the Elon Musk pastime. It seems that every other day we hear about more of them. So I don't.
I mean, an Elon Musk commercial would be, "Oh, geez, time to make the children." He's always making children.
Always. Geez, he's very concerned about population growth. I guarantee it's interesting because if you happen to be listening on the radio or podcast, you can't see Sonny doing a Corinne Jean-Pierre and reading every word of that. So as you point out, it's not just her making something up. It's not just her trying to remember something she saw someone tweet. Someone has given her the information that 300,000 people have been killed by this medical research that doesn't even seem to be cut in the bill that they're trying to pass, which is fascinating.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to look, Glenn. I will see if I can find the source of it. There's got to be. I assume it's something, but I don't know.
Okay. Now, the View went on to say that Elon has dirt on President Trump. Now listen to this.
On the flip side, those Republicans, if you're in a House district, you're like, I'm afraid of Donald Trump. But Elon Musk, because of the dark money system we live in, he can come in and primary you by just pouring millions and millions into your race.
And then there is that.
Stop. How unbelievably rich is this? And when I say rich, I mean in a George Soros sort of way. They are now concerned about dark money where somebody who is a billionaire can come in and just primary you. Does George Soros come to mind at all? Oh my gosh, I can't take it. I just can't take it. But wait, there's more.
Afraid of Donald Trump, but Elon Musk, because of the dark money system we live in, he can come in and primary you by just pouring millions and millions into your race.
And then there is that, if one was going to think, ooh, maybe this happened. Elon knows the 411 on everything.
Yeah, he got all that information.
He knows how all this came down. Mm-hmm. So now suddenly he's like, well, harumph.
Well,
I'm so angry.
So Trump should be afraid of him.
I think Trump is afraid.
He has receipts on the election, too.
I think he is afraid.
Well, 20.
Stop. So now it's election conspiracy. Now Trump didn't win. Elon Musk may have, well, he at least knows how Trump fixed the election. So election denier, that is bad for our republic. They're destroying the republic. They should be silenced. Election denying now from the ladies on The View. And they're saying that Elon Musk terrifies Donald Trump. Can I tell you something? And I mean this sincerely. I think the only thing that terrifies Trump is nuclear war. It's the only thing I have ever seen him talk about or respond to that seems to really scare the crap out of him, and that is all-out nuclear war. I don't think he's afraid of Elon Musk. I don't. But the left finally has their dream come true, and I don't know who to believe on this. We got to get into this next hour. We got to take a quick break, but next hour we've got to get into the big beautiful bill and what's really going on there, because I don't know. But I think there is one thing that is bigger than the big beautiful bill, and it's being discussed along with the big beautiful bill. And that one thing I think everybody needs to be very, very aware of. We'll talk about that at the top of next hour. Stand by. First, let me tell you about preborn. Overturning Roe versus Wade wasn't the finish line. That was the starting gun, because the push for abortion on demand hasn't slowed. It's actually grown. And while we've celebrated the hard-won victory, they've been building infrastructure, building, ballot initiatives, shaping culture in ways that don't make headlines but make a huge difference. If you care about life, this is your wake-up call, because the work isn't done, not by a long shot. Preborn is one of the few organizations that is in fighting every single day in, day out, in the quiet places where opinions haven't yet hardened. They provide free ultrasounds to women who haven't decided, who are leaning towards abortion but haven't decided. They're scared, they're alone, they feel pressured. Nobody in their life is supporting their possible choice of keeping the baby, but they're still open for themselves to see the truth, they want to see it. And when they see it and they hear the heartbeat, when they see that baby and hear the heartbeat, they're twice as likely to choose life for that child. But they still feel alone. They don't know how they can afford it. They don't know how they can do it. And this is where preborn steps in. If you have the means, would you consider a leadership gift to save babies in a big way? Your tax-deductible donation of $5,000 will sponsor the entire network in the country for 24 hours, helping rescue 200 babies just by providing the ultrasounds. To donate, just dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. You don't need $5,000. You can have $5. Every single dollar counts. Hit pound 250, keyword baby. Visit preborn.com/Beck. It's preborn.com/Beck or pound 250, keyword baby, sponsored by Preborn.
Beck will be right back.
So if you're like most Americans who work hard to get ahead, you probably have got some or even a lot of your money tied up in investments. And there comes a day, maybe it's today for you, where you ask yourself for the very first time, what exactly am I funding with the money I'm investing? Most Americans' portfolios are unfortunately littered with companies they never intentionally support in real life. Big tech firms silencing voices, pharmaceutical giants profiting from crisis, even foreign investments in interests that undermine your values. And that's why you got to be in this situation where you're looking at this in, and I hate to use the word holistic, but that's kind of like what you need to do. You need to step back and say, wait a minute, am I doing the things that I want to do with my money, including my investments, not just the money I'm spending at a store? Constitution Wealth was built to change this entire game for you. They have advisors that start by asking you what you believe in, things like faith and freedom and the Constitution, and they tailor your portfolio to reflect those values without sacrificing the performance, which is key, of course. It's about growing your wealth, but in a way that strengthens the things you actually care about. And they don't just walk away after that first meeting. They partner with you long-term, offering strategic insight and a clear plan designed to build both profit and principle. If you're tired of, being at odds with your own money, change that. It's constitutionwealth.com/blaze. Sign up for a free consultation today. It's constitutionwealth.com/blaze.
There's two things going on in Europe that I haven't heard anybody talk about that are just really terrifying that happened yesterday. One is France and England looking like they're just going to declare a new state for Palestine. I don't know where, but they're going to do that. Looks like the UN is all going to be behind it. The EU will follow. I'm going to explain why that's going to happen, what it really means. And then on the other hand, looks like we're just seemingly, not us, itching for a war with Russia. There's a new coalition of the willing, not led by us, but again by England, France, and all of the other people in Europe. I shouldn't say people, the leadership in Europe. The people are just being left behind. But we're closer to a true global war than any time in my lifetime, I think.
Beck.